Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vitvishawahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. I shall chant the Mangalacharan. Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Hari Om. So we are studying Tattvabodha, and in that we have already studied that Brahma is Nitya and Atma is Satya. Both mean one and the same, and so both are one and the same. We have gone over it again and again. Now Atma is not the gross body, the subtle body or the causal body, and it is not the panch koshas. It is the witness of the three states of consciousness, and its nature is Sat Swarup, Satchidanand, right? All this we have done. Now this was regarding the Vyashti, the microcosm. The question that arises is, what is this Jagat? We have studied our own body and everything. So how is it related to the Jagat? So in that we started studying the theory of creation, which we said is one of the many theories which are available in the Upanishads. The one that we are studying in this is that Brahma, which is Nitya and which is eternal, which is alone, one and only one, it cannot directly create because that would involve change, and it is unchanging. So we have the concept of Maya. Maya meaning that which is not but it is. So this is dependent on Brahma, and again I'll caution, it is Brahma is one and eternal, Brahma is the creator. So the difference is in Brahma and Brahma, not to be confused. So Maya is the creative potential which is dependent on Brahma the eternal, and with Brahma the eternal is known as Ishwar. The conditioning of Brahma with Maya is known as Ishwar, and to Ishwar we ascribe all the creation. And what we have studied so far is that Maya has created the 5 Panchmahabhoots, the 5 elements, which in their subtle state are called Tanmatras and are created in the order of space, air, fire, water and earth. Now when we say water and earth, which we see, they are the grossified forms, but they have been created in their subtle forms. They are Tanmatras in their subtle forms, and that is what they get created first. Now from these subtle aspects, what we get are 5 Jnanendriyas, the 5 sense organs of perception, one from each Tanmatra. For instance, from space we get the organ of perception of sound, the ear, and so forth. We have studied all this. And all the Tanmatras put together from their sattvic aspect. Maybe while recapping, I missed out. Maya is Trigunatmika. It has 3 gunas: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So from the sattvic aspect of the subtle elements, the Tanmatras, the 5 sense organs of perception have come, and from all these Tanmatras put together and their sattvic aspect, the inner Antakaran has been formed. Antakaran, Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar, mind, intellect, memory and ego, depending on the function that they perform. So that is the inner subtle body, the outer being the 5 sense organs of perception. They go out, Antakaran remains in. So this was the Sattvic aspect combined with the Panchmahabhoots. And the Rajasic aspect combined with the Panchmahabhoot individually gave us the 5 organs of action. For instance, from space we got speech and so forth, and all the 5 tanmatras put together with the Rajasic aspect, we got the 5 pranas. That we have already, the 5 pranas, what they are, we have already studied. So, up to this we have studied, and I hope it is all clear. If there is any question, we can take it up before proceeding. Okay, so Ira, you have a lot of catching up to do. Now, today we are going to understand how the 5 tanmatras, for their tamasic aspect, how they get grossified. And when they get grossified, then they become visible and we can see them through our sense perception. In the subtle state, we can't see them. So all the things that have been created, we can't see them. Having said that, what this grossification, the term used in Sanskrit is panchikaran. That is called grossification. We are now going to study that. It's not difficult. If you have your paper and pen ready, I am going to read and explain simultaneously. It may be enough to say that there is something like grossification and we can do with it. But if you do want to understand, then I'll take the pains to explain how this grossification takes place. It is explained in the book. I'll try and do my best. You also try and do your best to understand. So, I have also drawn a chart which I'll refer to. Now, I am reading on page 94. The evolution of the Tamas aspect. Okay? Etesham panch tattvanam madhye. From the 5 panch tattvas, tanmatras, tamas amshat, from their tamasic aspect, panchikrit panch tattvani bhavanti. The grossified elements are created. Panchikaran tatham iti chet. If asked what is Panchikaran, then etesham Panchmahabhotanam Tamas amshas swarupam. The tamasic element of these 5 Panchmahabhoots, that is the tamasic swarup of each. Let me just confirm. Panchmahabhoot of the 5 from the tamas of each. Okay. The process of grossification is explained. From the tamasic aspect of all these 5 elements, what happens? Ekam ekam bhutam duvidha. Vibhajeya. Vibhajeya is divided. Each element is divided into 2. So there are 5 tanmatras. So each tanmatra is divided into 2 halves. You can draw 2 halves of any one. Let us say space. You draw 2 halves. Then ekam ekam ardham prathak tushnim vyavasthapya. Right? So what is tushnim? 1 half remains intact with each of the tanmatras. What happens to the other half? Aparam ardham chaturdhya vibhajya. The other half is divided into 4 equal parts. So each part is now 1/8 of the whole. Have you drawn that? The second part, have you divided into 4 equal parts? So each part is now 1/8 of the whole. Is it clear? 1/8 is 12.5%. If you add those 4 12.5%, they become 50%. That is a half of that. Now, Swadharmanyeshu ardheshu svabhavach tushtya samyojanam karyam. Now, each of this 1/8 goes to the other 4 elements. Space has got half which remains with space. The other half is divided into 4 quarters. Each quarter goes to the remaining 4 tanmatras. So each tanmatra gives up 1/8 of its division to the other 4. So there are 4 parts in each, they all share with the remaining 4. So what happens is, in this way, etabhya panchikrit panchmahabhutebhya, this is the way in which panchikrit is done. Panchikaran is done. This is the grossification. So each element has half of its own and 1/8 of the other 4 elements with it. That's all. And when this Panchikaran is done, and this is all tamasic aspect, okay? This is of the tamasic aspect. When this Panchikaran is done, then these grossified 5 elements then combine to form various gross bodies of the Jagat which are perceived. So long as they are subtle, they are not perceived. We discussed all those things, man, buddhi, chit, ahankar, vagara, vagara. But now this grossified body is perceived. So I'll read out. Any question? Yes.
Arunji, so this kind of application happens only in the tamasic aspect, not in the other one.
Yes, the other one, it's all subtle and rajasic and sattvic with the subtle. This grossification happens only with the tamasic.
Okay. But panchik में भी हो रहा है.
Come again.
But the panchikaran happens in sattvic and rajasic also, no?
No, that is not called panchikaran. Panchikaran is grossification. That is not panchikaran.
Okay, I'll read again. Okay.
Panchikaran is only grossification, and that happens only with the tamasic aspect of the 5 subtle tanmatras. Etesham panch tattvanam samashti sattvic amshat. In this I am reading the sattvic wala. No, panchikaran is not used. And when we are doing the panchikaran, he is saying panchikaran katham iti chet. If asked what is panchikaran, then he is explaining this is panchikaran. So earlier one is not panchikaran. Okay. So I'll read out what Swami Tejomayananda ji has written as a translation of what I read in Sanskrit. From the tamas aspect of these 5 elements, the grossified 5 elements are born. If it is asked how panchikaran takes place, it is as follows. The tamas aspect of each of the 5 elements divides into 2 equal parts. 1/2 of each remains intact. The other half of each gets divided into 4 equal parts. To the intact half of one element, 1/8 portion of each of the other elements gets joined. Panchikaran is complete. From these 5 grossified elements, the gross body is formed. This is Panchikaran, right? Then he's given a chart and everything. You can all go through at your own. It graphically explains what I have just discussed. Tamogun is characterized by inertia. We are talking of Panchikaran, which is the tamasic aspect of the 5 elements. Now, what is tamasic is tamogun. Tamogun is characterized by inertia. So, if you remember, Satogun was characterized by knowledge. Rajogun is characterized by activity. Tamas is characterized by inertia. Inert means that which cannot know itself or illumine other. This is very important. Okay? That which cannot activate itself is inert. The tamasic aspect of the 5 elements together undergo the process of grossification as explained in the charts. By their intermingling, each element thereafter has 50% of its own element and 12.5% of each of the other 4. Therefore, each of the gross elements has the qualities of all the other elements. These elements thereafter are perceived by the senses. The permutation and combination of these elements form the entire gross world, including the gross body. Any question? Now, the examples. The vegetables we eat have starch, proteins, and vitamins, which are components of earth. They have water content. They have their own heat, air, and you occupy space. Even though water in its purest form is supposed to be tasteless, colorless, and odorless, we know that sea water tastes salty, appears blue, and has distinct smell. Our own body occupies space. We have plenty of air within us. The body has heat, and around 80% of it is made up of water. There is the earth food element, which makes up most of its weight. The gross body cannot function without the subtle body. When the subtle body leaves the gross body disintegrates and merges into the 5 gross elements. Now, this is something which is not known to many people. What comes and what goes at the time of birth and death. At the time of birth, this subtle body enters the gross body, and at the time of death, it's the subtle body that leaves the gross body. Normally we say Atma aa gayi ya chali gayi. There is nothing like that. Atma has no place to move because it's all pervasive. But it's a subtle body that occupies and it leaves. And it carries with it all the impressions of this and the past lives. Any questions on that? This is a very ticklish point. The gross body cannot function without the subtle body. When the subtle body leaves the gross body disintegrates and merges into the 5 gross elements. As all the gross bodies have the same gross elements, and no gross body can claim to be superior to another from the standpoint of the contents of the body. So what does it mean? It means all gross bodies are the same, irrespective of how they appear to be. Their forms, their shape, their color, their size may be different, but they are all the same as far as the content is concerned. So, the proverbial blue blood is also red. Differences at the gross level are superficial. If this is understood, then conflicts due to caste, creed, color or gender would end. पर ये बात नहीं समझ आती है. We are born in blue blood वगैरह वगैरह. So we are different. we are Brahmins, and so forth. Okay, any questions? From the point of view of philosophy, this is a deep topic what we have just covered. Okay, the relationship of the individual and the Lord. That is Jeev and Jagat and Ishwar. Hariom.
मेरे ख्याल से मे बी जैसे आप पढ़ रहे हैं और आप कह भी रहे हैं ये डीप है, तो अगर अपने शब्दों में बताया जाए हम लिसनर्स ने, तो उसमें क्लियर होगा कि जो समझा है वो सही समझा है कि नहीं समझा है, क्योंकि अदरवाइज जो है वो लगेगा कि समझ में आया है बट कई बार उसमें गैप होता है।
जी हाँ। तो ये एक्सरसाइज अभी करेंगे या कल सुबह करेंगे सब लोग? अनु जी बताएं। हाँ, तो आप शुरू करिए फिर। अनिल जी तो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है, पहले इनसे नहीं करेंगे हम।
अर्जुन जी आप म्यूट हैं।
मैंने कहा अनिल जी तो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है, इसलिए इनसे नहीं शुरू करेंगे, आप शुरू करिए।
अनिल जी से शुरू करते हैं।
अच्छा, मैं जरा शुरू करूं? फॉर अ चेंज आई एम इन द क्वाइट प्लेस।
हाँ प्लीज राहुल जी, प्लीज काइंडली गो अहेड।
ओके, not a philosophical aspect of it, just a mathematical aspect with a day-to-day example कि हाँ ऐसे ही मतलब पंचीकरण ऐसे ही होता है। With just a gross example, like 5 of us are in outing, ठीक है, सबने अपना अपना टिफिन लाया है, तो मैंने क्या किया, आधा मेरा टिफिन खा लिया, बाकी का आधा बाकी के 4 लोगों में शेयर कर दिया। उसी तरह से हर एक ने किया, तो मैंने क्या किया, हाफ टिफिन मेरा खा लिया, बाकी जो हाफ बचा था उसमें 1/4 बाकी 4 लोगों का आ गया। सो मैथमेटिकली दिस इज व्हाट पंचीकरण इज, दैट हाफ ऑफ द that element and remaining 1/8 from other element। तो ये जैसे कॉलेज का एग्जाम मतलब अनुभव है कि अगर ऐसे कुछ याद रखे तो समय पे याद आ जाता है, समय के टेक्निकल टर्म्स नहीं याद आते, कुछ ऐसे अगर हो जाए एग्जाम्पल तो याद आता है। तो दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव रिमेंबर्ड इन दिस वे। सो आई होप कि शायद ये हेल्पफुल रहे एंड मोस्ट ऑफ ऑल ये सही मैंने समझा है ना। दैट्स इट।
राहुल जी बहुत अच्छा समझा और बहुत अच्छा समझा दिया ना, ग्राफिक मैनर।
जस्ट 5 लोग है उतना याद रखना है, बाकी क्या टिफिन तो शेयर होगा ही इक्वली सब में। तो दैट्स इट। तो खैर मैंने बोल दिया मेरा।
आई थिंक राहुल जी ने जो मैथमेटिकल एस्पेक्ट बता दिया है वो तो मुझे भी समझ आ गया कि 5 elements and the half is with each element has the half portion and then 1/4 of each has come into, so that is as far as the maths part of it goes। and like you said कि जो भी basically the last part कि हमारी and this together makes our gross body, so it's the subtle body which enlivens the gross body, and when that subtle body leaves, the person dies and again becomes part of the again the whole process begins.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
So when a person dies, the gross body merges with the 5 gross elements, right? Or it comes from the 5 elements, it goes back to the 5 elements, right? Yes, Anil ji.
और मैं अगर फर्दर बिल्ड करूं तो आई वुड से दैट जो ये माया ने 3 गुण बनाए और उसमें से 5 तत्व बने, और उस 5 तत्वों में क्योंकि माया से बने हैं तो माया परवेट्स ऑल द 5 एलिमेंट्स। अब ये एलिमेंट्स जब ग्रॉस फॉर्म में आते हैं तो वो हमें बॉडी की जो सेंसस आईज हैं उससे दिखाई देते हैं, लेकिन जो सटल होते हैं वो आईज से नहीं दिखाई देते। एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज अवर माइंड। तो इंडिविजुअल के लेवल पे वो इंडिविजुअल का माइंड है जो इनर इक्विपमेंट है, और जो रजस जो सात्विक 5 तत्वों से बना है, तो हर इंसान का जो इनर इक्विपमेंट है वो सात्विक पंच तत्वों से बना है, और पूरे दुनिया के सात्विक एलिमेंट को मिला दें तो वो ईश्वर है। राजसिक ईश्वर में जैसे अगेन वो जो सात्विक है, अगर हम ब्रह्मांड को 3 पार्ट में करें, क्रिएशन, तो क्रिएशन, प्रिजर्वेशन एंड डिस्ट्रक्शन, तो क्रिएशन ब्रह्मा हो जाएंगे, विच इज द रजस एस्पेक्ट। ये स्वामी प्रेमानंद ने भी आज सुबह को मैंने सुना। और विष्णु हो जाएंगे सात्विक एस्पेक्ट, और शिवा हो जाएंगे डिस्ट्रक्शन वाला, तामसिक। तो कमिंग बैक जो सात्विक है वो इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे इंडिविजुअल का माइंड है और इंटेलेक्ट है, और जो हमारी 5 परसेप्शंस हैं, परसेप्शन के ऑर्गन्स, इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे सात्विक है। और ऐसा ही ये पूरे दुनिया के मिला दिया जाए सभी जीवों का सात्विक एलिमेंट। और रजत जो है वो हमारी कर्मेंद्रियां हैं 5, और जो ये हमारे पंच प्राणास हैं, तो जो हमारा शरीर का इनर इक्विपमेंट चलता है वो इन्हीं की वजह से चलता है, राजसिक और तामसिक। और राजसिक जब वो एक्शन में कन्वर्ट होकर बाहर आता है तो वर्ल्ड में इंटरेक्शन होता है, वर्ल्ड के लेवल। तो इस तरीके से भगवान शंकराचार्य जो है पूरे क्रिएशन को ग्रॉस के लेवल, जीव कैसे बना वो भी बता रहे हैं, व्यष्टि और समष्टि। और जो समष्टि में हमें बाहर बना हुआ दिखता है, या अपना शरीर जो हमें दिखता है, वो सब ग्रॉसिफाइड 5 एलिमेंट से बना है। और उसको परसीव करने वाला और उसको चलाने वाली जो एनर्जी अंदर की है राजसिक, वो सात्विक और राजसिक से बना। दिस इज माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग।
Yeah, thank you, Anilji. So, largely this is what we have studied. I'll not bother Ira because she has missed so many lectures. Whenever she feels yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I am internalizing a lot, so
Yeah.
I appreciate
So you need to hurry before we end the course.
Yes, done.
चलिए. So then we meet tomorrow in the morning. I'll say the concluding prayer. Thank you, everybody. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. I pray to the Lord that He may bless us all and we may reach our destination. Hari Om.